It's okay to be in survival mode. It's normal. It's normal to have times when everything feels under control and we can give our focus to our dreams and our goals, and then times when it's not all under control and our focus is going to be on either getting it under control or waiting it out until the problem or crisis passes. Hi, I'm Kait, and I make videos about productivity and organization. I recently had this great conversation with my friend Anne. She said that she has basically given up on productivity, that she's tried lots of techniques, but they all pretty quickly stopped working for her. And Anne is pretty accomplished. She's a partial owner and on the board for several different schools. She's a content creator, which is how we know each other. And also she helps her mother a lot and has kids of her own. And apparently she's just winging it in terms of planning. But she did confess that she does feel like her life is a bit out of control and she wishes she was more organized. But everything she's tried has failed, so she doesn't know where to start now. So we had this hour-long chat about basically that. And there was so much good stuff in that conversation that I wanted to put the big realizations, the big ideas into a video. So the first problem is she's trying different productivity methods and techniques, but they're falling apart. They just stop working. She mentioned specifically that she's tried Pomodoro technique, bullet journaling, and a few different planners. But sooner or later, they stop meeting her needs, so she stops using them and they stop working for her. Some background info: Anne has been undergoing a series of surgeries, each time hoping it's the last one, and instead needing more, even traveling to see different specialists. So Anne is literally in survival mode right now. I've gone through similar cycles, luckily not with such, critical medical issues, but definitely cycles where there were times that something was taking over all my attention, all my free time, and then some. For example, maybe it's me or when my kids get sick, and it's taking most of my time, either recovering myself or caring for them. And I have to just push myself to even accomplish the bare necessities of life, in addition to that main thing. Or a different example could even be something more self-induced, like vacation planning or prepping for an event I'm hosting. When something like that is coming up, I get really focused and put everything else to the side until the event is done. Basically, these are situations, periods of time where there is something big taking over my life, and all I can deal with is that big thing and just the bare minimum life necessities. All side projects, goals, growing my business, organizing my closet, that stuff is all on hold until this thing is done. So when you're in this kind of focused crisis management mode, you don't need a big 2-page per day planner layout. You don't need a really fancy bullet journal grid, sketched out each day. You don't need Pomodoro technique. So you stop using those things. And then gradually, as things keep coming up and you kind of write them down to remember, your to-do list moves out of your old system and onto scrap papers or Post-its or something else. And then that previous system has officially fallen apart and it's not working for you anymore. Now, it's normal to have these times when we're basically in survival mode, but then hopefully they end and we go back to normal or growth mode. And then in growth times, we have the time and energy to improve our lives. But how can we get through it, those harder times? How do we give ourselves space to survive in survival mode while not sabotaging our future selves when we eventually get back to normal? This is a great question. I have my own planner company and I go back and forth between using my own planner app and my own printed planner. And still, there are times when life doesn't fit quite right into a planner and I'll stop using them daily. Literally, even me with my dream planners that I designed myself, I still have this problem. I will say there are a lot of advantages to an app, but this is one place where paper has the advantage. There will be a day that I will have my Tuesday planned out with Tuesday written in the top, but the day doesn't go as planned. And basically everything I had hoped to do on Tuesday needs to be tried again on Wednesday. So I literally will just put on the top plus Wednesday rather than making a new page layout. And I've done the same for weekly planning too. On my weekly planning page, it's the end of the week and still most of it still has to be done. Rather than just copying everything over onto another page, I will just kind of update the date to add another week onto it. That's all just to say we need our planning systems to be flexible to account for, different modes, different energy levels, changes in our schedules. And I think, and I don't think I'm alone in this, that paper tends to be more flexible than digital. So we're asking ourselves, how do we stay organized during these non-productive times when our systems we probably built them during like growth mode, hyperproductive times, and they just don't fit our lives right now. And prior to this conversation with Anne, I was aware of this problem that I had, but I hadn't really given a lot of thought to like, how should I solve it? How should I improve this part of my life? And having, talked it out with her and thought about it some more, what I came up with is I'm going to give myself permission to not be productive when, something more important or, more essential is going on that needs my attention. But I am going to make the effort to stay organized. So I don't need to be like crushing my 20 item to-do list every day. And maybe I even just revert to having a simple to-do list rather than my usual planning. But I'm going to keep that to-do list, in the same place as I had been using. I'm keeping everything together. I'm not going to start something new, even something that doesn't feel like a new system, like putting a task on a Post-it note. I'm going to keep keeping my tasks in my planner. Now, that answer only really makes sense if you have a system that works really well for you in normal times. So a natural follow-up question would be, how do we excel when we are in those growth times? This whole YouTube channel is basically about how planning and productivity systems can help you do exactly that. But today I want to stay focused on accounting for the changes we all experience in life, whether that's being healthy and then being sick, having the kids at school all day and then having them home for the summer, or even just something big you have going on like moving houses. One thing that I think would be a nice mindset shift would be to not think, oh, my life is crazy and out of control right now, X is going on, and instead think, I'm currently hyper-focused on X, that's my top priority now, but I'll have bandwidth for other things later. With that mindset, we're always in growth mode. It's just that the projects and goals we're working on, sometimes they're our dreams, and sometimes they are like life necessities that we have to deal with, and they may or may not be under our control. This connects really well to the Maslow hierarchy of needs, which you've probably seen. There's like food and shelter on the bottom, and then safety, love, self-esteem, and then like creativity and meaning up at the top. The goals you're currently working on should meet your current needs, whether that is your health or building relationships or a creative project. Like my YouTube channel is for me, but when I'm sick, I don't work on creative projects like making videos. I focus on the more foundational need of getting healthy. All my goals are always pretty much about improving my life. For example, I'm learning German right now because we moved to Switzerland, and being able to speak and understand German would improve my life. More examples, we've been here a year and there have been a lot of house projects that have happened. And those all make our house feel more organized and more pleasant to be in. And a year before that, the move itself was a huge goal with 100 different sub-projects, from visas to packing to logistical transportation to finding this apartment. Like, can I afford it all? Switzerland's very expensive. The year we moved, there were weeks when huge progress was made, and there were weeks when no progress was made. But, in the end, everything got done, and I'm here. We live here legally. I pay my bills, and I even speak a little German. If I were to talk any more about planning, but keeping flexibility and setting goals and connecting that to our day-to-day life, I would be repeating like almost all of one of my very recent videos about planning for unpredictability. So instead of repeating myself, I'm just going to say, please click here, and then you will see the rest on this topic. And thank you for watching. I'll see you over there. Ciao.